Okay, hello everyone. My name's Alec, and I'm the director of the Okanagan Guitar Festival. I'm joined here today by Luis Medina, originally from Vancouver, situated right now in Toronto, and Daniel Bolshoi. Daniel, I don't know, actually know, where are you right now?
I am in Athens, Georgia.
Okay, awesome. And today, Luis and Daniel are going to talk a little bit about their program. So, Luis, why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're going to play today?
Sounds good. I had to look up the program. Like, what did I tell you I was gonna play? So essentially, there's gonna be a three-part to my half. It's all gonna be Mexican. Essentially, it's a Mexican themed first half of the concert. With the first set of pieces being traditional folk songs arranged for guitar. They're originally heard in mariachi settings. So this is essentially mariachi arrangements for classical guitar of two very popular songs. After that, I'm going to be playing one of the more, or I guess less well-known pieces by Manuel Ponce. I'm going to be playing his Cuatro Piezas para Guitarra, or easily understood as four pieces for guitar. So it's four, very nice short European dances with a lot of character in them and very different, I guess, feels to it. It's kind of fun. And then after that, I'm going to be playing these imágenes de Yucatán, or images of Yucatán. Yucatán being the state in Mexico where Cancun is, for those who like to party in Cancun, written by the Mexican composer Julio César Oliva, and it's in three movements. So it's all very sort of like his modern take on what a soundscape in Yucatan might sound like, with some salsas, with some more serenade-like music. It's really quite fun. So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Fun. And as I understand it, right now you're playing a lot of Olivia's music as part of your DMA studies in Toronto.
That's correct. As a matter of fact, my dissertation, my research focuses on the music of end life to an extent, but mainly I'm focusing on the music of Julio César Oliva. I'm just trying to still figure out how I'm going to tackle it, because supposedly there's over 300 pieces of music that he's written, of which I think not even 10% has ever been published. So I need to get in there, understand the music. But anyway, but yes, am focusing on his music. I've recently, for those who might see the link of the concert, of the recital from last Tuesday, they'll notice that I'm playing three pieces by him that are, again, just very obscure. There's other popular ones, but yeah, I'm doing a lot of his stuff.
Yes, and that images of the Yucatan are what I will have embedded on the preview page here. If you just look around, you'll see that. With 300 pieces, over 300 pieces he's written, how do you decide what to play?
That is a great question. I honestly go, the first step is basically which scores I can actually find, because it's so underplayed. It doesn't really take much to decide. It's like, you know what, I haven't never heard of this one. For instance, the Imágenes de Yucatán, I heard it for the first time in a CD called Guitar of Mexico, I believe from Naxos, by the guitarist Cecilio Pereira. And I listened to the piece and I fell in love with it, and I couldn't find the music anywhere. So I reached out to Cecilio, and Cecilio was very kind to actually share the music with me, because the piece was in fact uh, dedicated to him. So I played it because I liked it, and I was able to find the music. Um, so that's kind of how it goes. It's kind of a bit of a discovery, looking on the internet, emailing people that have played some of his music. Hopefully they have, a copy of the score. For instance, he was commissioned to write the set piece for GFA in 2003 when Jeremy Juve won it. So it just so happens that Jeremy Juve was in Toronto in February, and I asked him if he remembered the piece. He said, in fact, he had the score, and he emailed me the score. So that's something that I would like to start working on soon as well. Otherwise, it's kind of impossible to find it. That's how I go about playing them or learning them.
Wow, sounds like an exciting like treasure hunt of sorts.
It kind of is, yeah. Feels like it.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to hearing more of that on July 8th. Daniel, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're going to be playing? So I see you're going to start with four songs by Schubert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so kind of it sounds like it's fitting with Luis's songs, folk songs. So we're continuing with the idea of song arrangements. These are four from a set of six that Johann Caspar Merz arranged at the time during the 19th century when shortly after Schubert wrote the songs. And so these are instrumental pieces, but they were started life as songs with words for voice and piano. And very famously, Liszt has made many arrangements of songs like that, and so the Mertz pieces are kind of like that in that same vein. Uh, Arrangements of the accompaniment and the melody together, and they're very fun to play. And then I'll play more lyrical music by Carlos Guastavino, which I think you've embedded into the website. People can check out that sonata. It's
That's
the
right.
first of three sonatas that Carlos Guastavino wrote. And I think of Guastavino as the Schubert of Argentina. He's an Argentinian composer, so there's that connection.
Nice. And yeah, it's quite a challenge to play such lyrical music on guitar for all of our festival participants that are students and learning to play. But I think it's also something that really makes the guitar shine in a really special kind of way, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the challenge of it. It's exactly right as you say, because obviously you know. Um, yeah, so both in the song arrangements and in the Guastavino, who got actually writes these beautiful legato kind of melodies, it's really hard to find ways of making it sound a little bit like legato on the guitar, as close as we can to make it sound like it's singing and the notes are connected and all of that.
Well, I've known you're playing for a long time and you do a beautiful job. Are you eventually going to learn all three of the sonatas?
Yeah, so I've actually I've learned two and started working on the third. Um, and who knows, maybe I'll change my mind in the last minute and play a different one. But right now I'm planning to play the first one, which is kind of starts off folky and has for the most part, a very light feel to it. And then the second movement is a lament. It's kind of more of a profound movement, a little bit darker.
Great. Well, thank you both for your time describing your program. For everyone watching this, those links are embedded on the same page as Luis and Daniel pointed out. The concert will be taking place in the evening of July 8th at St. Michael's Cathedral in Kelowna. And we'll be doing two other concerts the same weekend. The day before, I'll be performing with a harpist from Vancouver, Vivian Chen, and a special guest with one of my students from UBC, Tatul Hadjian. And Sunday concert, we'll be having a bit of a showcase with featuring Louis Southwood, Alan Reinhardt, local to Kelowna, who will be performing with a flautist, Christine Moore. And we'll have a youth ensemble led by one of our faculty members, Galina Jotlina. And both Luis and Daniel will be doing master classes and teaching throughout the weekend. So please check that out. Our schedule is up on okanaganguitar.com, and that's also where you'll find all the links to the tickets and everything else we talked about here.